I'm Nancy, the Book Professor, and I'm really excited about talking to you today about the Get My Book Out program for writers to help you write a high-impact nonfiction book that will either save lives, change lives, or transform society. But first, I bet you have a few questions about the program and how it would work, and most of all, how it would work for you. So I want to answer a few common questions that I often get from authors, would-be authors, and go through those with you so that you have a feeling of comfort that this is really the right place for you to land and the right place for you to go to write your book. So first of all, a lot of people say, okay, why does this program, Get My Book Out, take a year? I see all kinds of things on the internet that I can write my book in 30 days or 90 days or even a weekend. And let me explain my philosophy to you. What we are striving for is for you to write a world-class nonfiction book that will stand shoulder to shoulder with anything else out there on the market. And you really can't rush that. It's a process and it takes time. And while you are working on your book is actually working on you. Things are going to be coming out during that year-long process that will be instrumental to completing your book. Important points, important insights, important things that you want to share with your audience. That's one of the reasons, is that your book needs time to incubate and percolate. The second reason is that nothing done well gets done in a hurry. And, publishing is an industry. I would never go out and start a bank because I don't know that industry. I would never go out and start an insurance company because I don't know the insurance industry. But I do know what it takes to write an excellent book that you turn into a product that people will purchase. And some of your reasons certainly should and could be that when writing your book, you want to establish yourself as an expert in the field. You want to increase your credibility and attract a following. But one surefire credibility killer is to put something out there that isn't completely thought out and well done. And it all starts with the writing. So that's why it takes a year. And we have 3 different modules. The first module, Module 1, is called From Concept to Concrete Plan. And that's where we map out your entire book, all the components that are going to be in there. And then Module 2 is called Write Without Ruts. And in that module, that's where you pour out your entire first draft. That really does take a lot of time. And then Module 3 is called Polish and Perfect. And that's where you edit your own work to the best of your ability. And I take you through exercises to edit it to your best of your ability before we have a professional editor put that final shine on it. So all of these things take time. And, most of you aren't going to quit your job and write a book. So it's also designed to fit into your work schedule and your life schedule. So it does take a year. It does, move along at the exact right pace for busy professionals and people who have busy lives, which I know you do. So, the year is going to pass anyway, so why not have something of quality to show for it at the end of those 12 months? So another question is people say, I want to do this, but I'm really busy. What kind of time commitment does that take? And again, this is another reason why it takes a year. You will have HD video instructions that you watch. Those are about a half an hour at the most, for the most part. And then you'll have homework to do every week. Now in Module 1, you should probably commit, maybe 2 to 3 hours a week on this. In Module 2, where you're pouring out your first draft, it's a little bit more than that. So you might want to commit more like 4 to 5 hours a week. It's a half a day to write your first draft. And in Module 3, it's about the same because, believe it or not, when you're editing and polishing, it's a lot of writing. So this is designed so that you are a new lesson is delivered to you every week, and you just mark your time off and move through it at this kind of pace. But it is a pace that, yes, you do have to carve out the time, but it's also at a pace, and it's designed for busy professionals and busy people like you are. I have a number of different services that I offer to people who are writing books, and one of them is one-to-one coaching, which is my most expensive module. It's not a module, it's one-to-one coaching. That's probably not for most people, and I only take about 5 of those clients a year. But I also have a group coaching sessions that are the exact same material that you get in the Get My Book Out modules. But the difference with the group coaching is that once a week, classes are limited to 10 people, and once a week we all get on a group coaching call where we talk about the lessons and what you're writing and how it is applying to the videos that you've seen, and we go through that as a group. It's very effective. Also in the group coaching, at 2 different points, at the midway point and at the very end of each module, you have a 45-minute Skype conference with me so that we are targeted to your material, exactly what you are writing, and you get one-to-one input at those times. Now, the Get My Book Out program, this self-paced program, is really ideal for most people because you get all the same material that you do in my executive group coaching, and it's all the same videos, the same worksheets, the same downloads, the same instruction, except you move through it at your pace and you don't have the high dollar commitment. In the group coaching, it's $1,200 per module, and of course the price for the entire Get My Book Out program is $8.99, or we've broken it down into some lower monthly payments for you over the course of the year. So it is more cost effective for you, and you also get the exact same instruction from me through the videos and the homework and the downloads. So another thing people ask is, there's a lot of book coaches out there, and there are a lot of good ones, and so they want to know what makes me different from other book coaches. Well, primarily, I am strictly a nonfiction book coach. There's a lot of, I don't deal in fiction. I just don't have the imagination for that, but I'm really good at nonfiction. And I started out doing nonfiction coaching through my small press, Stonebrook Publishing, and I have some really great credentials for taking authors through the process. And one of them is a book we issued called Storming the Tulips, written by a Holocaust survivor who'd gone to school with Anne Frank. And so we did the book launch in Amsterdam at her school. It was fascinating and incredible. And another book that I published is called A Life in Parts, and I guided the authors through that whole process. And we ended up publishing a world-class book. We actually got back cover endorsements from Sir Paul McCartney and Cindy Crawford, which is like, wow. Well, I take you through the exact same process as those authors, but here's the difference. At the end, your book should be a launch pad that you can deliver your message across multiple venues and reach your audience wherever they're already engaged. So let's face it, we know everybody is not going to read a book, but that doesn't mean you don't want to reach them with your message, so that when your book is finished, because we've constructed it in these chapter silos, which are problem solution sets, always from the viewpoint of the reader. What do they need? What information are they seeking? When you're finished, you should be able to take each one of those chapters and repurpose it and deliver it across multiple venues. So if you want to do workshops or seminars, if you're a speaker and you give keynote speeches, it should be material for that. It'll be material for your blog. You can make online video instruction or online courses like the Get My Book Out course. You can construct that. You can have material for podcasts. It is the launch pad to deliver your material, your book material, across multiple venues. And I know of no other book coach who sets you up for that kind of long reach across all kinds of different delivery mechanisms where your readers are already engaged. So another thing is, are you available, to help me if I get stuck? And the answer to that is yes. You're going to have a couple of options. We have a private Facebook group for you to join, and you can ask questions there and we'll answer them and all. But you always have the option, if you get into the middle of the self-paced course and you think, I really wish I'd done the group coaching, we can slide you over into a group coaching class where you will get the weekly calls and ask your questions answered all the time, every week. and the individual Skype conference, both in the middle of the module and at the end. So you have a couple of options available to you that, but the Facebook group is really great. You just ask your questions in there and we answer them, and it's real satisfying. Plus you get a lot of knowledge from other people who are asking questions, and that's kind of a great group synergy that develops and helps you to move through the modules at your pace. Okay, so some people say this seems a little expensive and they want to know what the real value is. Well, there are 1 million books published every year, 1 million. And if you want your needle to rise to the top of that haystack, you darn well better have an excellent product. And, you know, the whole thing is $8.99. And you can break it up into monthly payments, which is very cool. If you were in the group coaching, it would be $3,600 a month. But what you want to come out with at the end is a world-class product. And I take you through every step, step by step. We build it brick by brick by brick, so that at the end you have an excellent product that can stand shoulder to shoulder with anything else out there on the market. And that's really important. I have seen a lot of slapped together self-published books, and I am an advocate of self-publishing, so don't think I'm knocking self-publishing, but I have seen a lot of slapped together self-published books they're just awful. And I don't want you to be in that category. I want you to write a book that will have an impact on the world, that you'll change lives, save lives, and transform society. In addition to establishing yourself as the expert in your field and increasing your credibility and attracting a following. And if your book is worth writing, it's worth investing in, because you don't know how to do it. And how would you know how? I mean, if you've never written a book before, how would you know how to write it? I just take you through the process step by step by step. You only have to have an inkling of an idea to get started. And then we move through that and we build out these foundational questions where you crystallize your message. We build out the book map. You write your first draft, then you polish and perfect it. And in a year's time, you will have a finished manuscript that's ready for a professional editor. And I would really love to be the one to help you. So thanks, and you know what? Come on board. We're doing things that really are changing the world. And if you feel like you can solve a problem that's in the world, if you can offer someone else hope and help to get to where they need to be, then this is the place for you. And that for that $8.99 or the monthly payments, you know what? You get instructions step by step from the beginning to the very end. And you know, you really can't beat that. And as always, I'm Nancy, the book professor, and I am here to help.